Have you ever wondered what would happen if humanity evolved beyond the need for physical bodies? What if the power we've been told about in legends was not a myth, but a forgotten truth? Could there be beings so advanced that they transcend time and space, watching over civilizations from the shadows? What if a once great empire, now lost to history, could be rebuilt by those who hold the key to the universe's greatest secrets? And what would happen when those who were once thought to be gone return to restore balance, offering their power to those in need? Welcome to Galactic Conundrums, where the secrets of the universe are more than just cosmic riddles, they are mysteries that can change the very fabric of reality. Today, we're diving into a tale of cosmic evolution, ancient civilizations, and the mysterious forces that shape our universe. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Galactic Conundrums for more mind-bending stories, and join the conversation in the comments below. What do you think humanity's true potential might be? Asterisk, the camera floats through the dark, boundless expanse of space. A small, sleek vessel cuts through the void, its hull gleaming like a shard of silver in the emptiness. The ship's presence feels like a whisper against the cold, vast nothingness of the cosmos. As it passes by Pluto, the dwarf planet's icy, barren surface glimmers faintly in the distance, a lonely, forgotten world, untouched by time. There are no stars here to warm it, no cosmic storms to stir its frozen plains. Just stillness, an unyielding, oppressive stillness that hangs heavy in the air like a shroud. Asterisk, inside the ship, Lauren, a member of the Saurian species, floats serenely in a suspended chamber, surrounded by a soft, ambient hum of life support systems designed to preserve his fragile form. His body lies suspended in a transparent gel, a fluid that cradles him gently while he travels through the stars. His skin, pale as the moon's reflection on still water, gives off a faint glow, faint enough to create a ghostly aura in the dim interior of the chamber. His slender frame, lithe and delicate, drifts without effort in the weightless space, his movements slow and deliberate, as though time itself has become something he can barely feel. A vast neural interface connects Lauren's mind directly to the ship's systems, offering him the ability to experience space in a way no physical eye ever could. He is not simply seeing the universe, he is feeling it. Every electromagnetic pulse, every cosmic radiation wave, every whisper of solar wind, his mind processes it all. His awareness expands in all directions, a perfect, spherical grasp of the void, stretching across the empty reaches of the solar system. Lauren, his thoughts echoing softly in his mind, the weight of solitude pressing down on him. I have traveled farther than any of my kind ever dared. I have crossed the vastness of space, ventured into the heart of darkness where no one from my people has ever gone. I have journeyed with the hope that humanity, the protectors of the weak, the legends of the galaxy, would guide me. The ancient stories spoke of them, of their strength, their benevolence, their ability to shield the helpless. I came in search of that power, that light, that would save my people from the shadows of the Carano. But all I find is silence. The silence is not just the absence of sound, but something far deeper, something that presses against Lauren's senses, as though the very fabric of the universe is holding its breath, waiting for something to break the stillness. His ship moves through the empty space between planets, the coldness of Pluto's surface now behind him, but the weight of that silence continues to haunt him. As the ship glides onward, Lauren's sensors pick up the remnants of an ancient civilization, an abandoned human colony on the outskirts of Pluto. His eyes, if one could call them that, scan the desolate surface with an almost reverential curiosity. What remains of this long-forgotten world is stunning in its alien beauty. Massive, geometric structures stretch across the barren landscape, perfect in their symmetry, their proportions beyond any of Lauren's understanding. These are not the marks of primitive beings. They are the unmistakable marks of a highly advanced civilization. The buildings, though eroded by centuries of neglect, still stand silent monuments to a greatness lost to time. Yet, despite their perfection, they evoke an overwhelming sense of mystery and eeriness. The ship hovers, suspended in the shadow of Pluto, Lauren's mind racing with questions as his gaze drifts across the alien architecture. What was the purpose of these structures? Who built them? Where are the people who created such wonders? Why does no one remain to answer the questions left behind? Lauren, softly, to himself, as his voice carries across the quiet of his chamber. What happened to them? Where did they go? I see their works, these towering, enigmatic designs, carved into the very bones of this cold planet. Their precision is staggering, their elegance undeniable. They were once alive, but now, nothing remains. There are no signs of their creators. No echoes of their voices. No sign of life, only cold stone and twisted metal. Was it all a dream? A fleeting illusion? Did they ever truly exist, or were they merely a myth, a tale spun by travelers and wanderers? He lets out a long, slow breath, the coldness in his chest mirroring the void outside his vessel. There is no answer. Just the vast silence, growing heavier with each passing second. Lauren watches the distant stars, feeling an undeniable sense of isolation. His ship continues to drift onward, pulling him away from Pluto and towards the unknown. His mind a swirl of confusion, doubt, and the faintest flicker of hope. But there is no answer in the stars, only the emptiness that surrounds him. It is as though the universe itself is unwilling to share its secrets. As his ship moves farther from the distant remnants of human civilization, Lauren's sense of loss deepens. The once thriving world of Earth, the cradle of humanity, a planet now nothing but a whisper of a past long gone, is only a faint glimmer in his mind's eye. But his journey, driven by the stories he had heard and the hope that humanity still exists, pushes him onward. Despite the silence, despite the absence, he cannot help but wonder, was he too late to find them? The vast emptiness of space seems to stretch on forever, but ahead, a brilliant blue orb begins to take shape. Lauren's ship glides silently toward it, its sleek hull reflecting the faint light of distant stars. As it approaches, Earth emerges a jewel in the dark, untouched by time. Its deep blue oceans swirl beneath swirling clouds, and vast continents of green and brown stretch across its surface, seemingly eternal. It is a vision of beauty, as if frozen in an ageless moment, a place that once teemed with life. Yet, there is something profoundly unsettling about its stillness. Loren's gaze is fixed on the planet. His mind races with awe, but there is a weight in his chest, something heavy, something foreboding. As he draws closer, the silence of space becomes even more apparent. There are no ships, no satellites in orbit, no signs of movement or life. The space around Earth is empty, almost abandoned, as if the very presence of the planet is a secret, kept hidden from the stars themselves. His ship passes through the void, drawing nearer, its sensors scanning the lifeless sky. The lack of activity is suffocating. There is no bustle of traffic, no hum of energy. Just the quiet expanse of nothingness. The once vibrant home of humanity, so full of history, culture, and life, now sits in an eerie stillness. Loren cannot help but feel a growing sense of dread. What has happened here? Loren, his voice trembling, filled with both wonder and sorrow. This was once their home. The cradle of life, the birthplace of so many stories. So much energy, so much creation. And now, nothing remains. No voices, no people, no ships to be seen. Just silence. They are gone. Loren's fingers hover over the controls, his mind struggling to comprehend the scene before him. Earth's beauty is undeniable, yet its solitude is unbearable. No signs of human activity, no satellites, no orbital stations. Nothing. The planet appears to be in perfect harmony with itself, as though frozen in time. The wilderness of its forests, the calm seas, and the great mountains, everything seems pristine, untouched, like a world waiting for someone to awaken it from a long slumber. The eerie stillness amplifies his loneliness, making the cold expanse of space feel even colder. Loren's ship drifts closer to the surface, yet there is no sign of the civilization that once called this place home. The legacy of humanity, so full of promise and potential, has vanished like a dream fading at the edge of dawn. The planet's atmosphere seems to shimmer slightly as the ship nears, the only movement in sight the faint ripple of clouds across the oceans. Loren's heart sinks as he contemplates the possibility that this world, which once held the brightest minds and the most magnificent creations, is now merely a forgotten relic of a once glorious past. Loren, whispering to himself, his words barely audible over the hum of the ship's systems. They were here, once. I know they were. But where have they gone? Earth, it is their cradle. But now, it has become nothing more than a preserve, protected, untouched. The past is locked in place, and the future? It is silent. The ship's sensors scan the planet below, confirming that it is a preserved world, nature thriving in perfect harmony, but without the pulse of civilization that once sustained it. The human cities, the machines that once swarmed the skies, are nowhere to be found. Lauren feels the weight of his thoughts as he stares at the earth below what was once a symbol of human triumph, now a quiet, eternal guardian of memories long forgotten. The deep silence of space is shattered by the sudden appearance of countless ships materializing around Lauren's vessel. Their arrival is not marked by the usual flashes of light or sudden bursts of energy, but a quiet, almost imperceptible shift in the fabric of reality itself. One moment, Lauren is alone, his ship drifting through the void. The next, he is surrounded by a fleet so vast, it seems to stretch into infinity. The ships are sleek, otherworldly, their designs unlike anything Lauren has ever seen. Their surfaces shimmer like liquid metal, folding and shifting in ways that defy logic, reflecting the starlight in patterns that dance and pulse with a life of their own. The technology is far beyond anything Lauren can even begin to comprehend. Lauren's heart races as his sensors scramble to identify the ships. They are unlike any species vessels he has encountered, their power signatures overwhelming. Their movements are calculated, purposeful. There is no aggression in their presence, but their sheer size and organization send a wave of unease through him. The ships seem to anticipate his every thought, and Lauren feels as if they are studying him, assessing him in ways that seem almost conscious. Then, as if the ships themselves are speaking, a voice erupts in Lauren's mind, clear, commanding, and without emotion. The voice is not transmitted through the ship's communication system but enters directly into his thoughts, bypassing all barriers and creating an overwhelming sense of being watched, of being known. Sigma, the voice reverberates through Lauren's consciousness, without the warmth of a human touch, but with an undeniable force. You have entered protected space. Identify yourself. Lauren is taken aback by the direct intrusion into his mind. The voice is unlike any he's ever encountered, cold, vast, almost infinite in its presence. His mind struggles to process the enormity of the situation. He's not sure whether the voice is coming from the ships themselves, or from something far beyond, but the weight of the words is undeniable. Lauren, his voice trembling with both fear and desperation, his thoughts frantic as he grasps at the only reason he's come so far. I am Lauren of the Saurian people. I seek humanity's aid. My people are enslaved by the Carano, a race stronger than us. We've heard the stories of humanity's power, how you protect the weak, how you maintain peace across the galaxy. Please, I beg of you, help us. As silence follows Lauren's plea, and his heart pounds in his chest. He feels the weight of his words hang in the air, a fragile hope that is quickly crushed by the coldness of the vast unknown around him. Sigma, the voice returns, its tone unyielding, almost clinical. Humanity is not as you remember. They have moved beyond physical existence. You misunderstand our world. Earth is no longer their residence. Lauren's mind reels. The words strike him with the force of a cosmic revelation, and the flicker of hope that had been slowly building in his chest begins to die out. Humanity, gone? Not extinct, but no longer physically present? What does that even mean? He had imagined humanity as a beacon of hope, a force of nature, still alive, still capable of helping those in need. The thought that they have left, abandoned the physical realm entirely, leaves him feeling more isolated than ever. His ship, once a solitary island in the vastness of space, now feels like a fragile, insignificant speck in the presence of these otherworldly beings. Lauren's mind races, struggling to find a way forward in this new reality. Lauren, his voice breaking with a tinge of hopelessness, though he fights to maintain composure. But, where are they? How could they just leave? We are desperate. My people need their help. Please, tell me what happened. What has become of them? Sigma's voice returns, cutting through Lauren's growing despair like a blade, but this time there is an odd sense of patience in the response. It's as if the entity speaking understands Lauren's confusion, yet there is still something cold and distant about it. Sigma, its tone softer, but still authoritative. Humanity now exists in forms beyond physical realms. Their consciousness has evolved beyond the need for bodies. They no longer inhabit planets, nor do they require physical sustenance. They are more than you can comprehend. Lauren's mind is overwhelmed by this new understanding. He had always thought of humanity in physical terms: bodies, ships, cities, and planets. But now, that world has shattered. Humanity is something else now, something that transcends flesh and bone. The realization is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Sigma, after a brief pause, as though considering Lauren's readiness to grasp the enormity of what it is saying. Would you like to meet them? The question hangs in the air, echoing in Lauren's mind. There is an offer there, an invitation into the unknown, into a reality that Lauren could never have imagined. His heart races once more, not with fear this time, but with the first flicker of hope in what feels like an eternity. But it is a fragile hope, one that comes with a terrifying knowledge that humanity has moved beyond what Lauren could possibly understand. He struggles to answer, caught between the desperate need to understand, to reach out, and the overwhelming uncertainty of what awaits. He doesn't know what to expect, but the chance to meet humanity, whatever they are now, might be the only hope left for his people. Lauren, finally, his voice a whisper but carrying the weight of his entire journey. Yes. Yes, I would. And in that moment, the universe seems to hold its breath. Lauren's ship drifts through space, surrounded by the vast, silent fleet, as the doorway to a new reality opens before him. Lauren's ship, guided by the subtle but insistent pull of the mysterious fleet, begins its journey away from Earth, toward a place unlike anything he has ever seen. As they glide through the void, a distant, dim red glow emerges on the horizon. It is not a star in the conventional sense, no bright, burning furnace of heat. Instead, the faint red dwarf star pulsates with a cold, steady light, its radiance muted, as though it's offering its warmth to the darkness rather than banishing it. As Lauren's vessel approaches, the stars around them seem to shift, as if the very fabric of space is bending in response to their presence. The space around him begins to warp, and soon, The vast structure appears a station so enormous, it seems to stretch endlessly into the void. The station's architecture is unlike anything Lauren can fathom. It is not built of metal and stone, but of something alive, an organic network of pulsing, breathing structures, twisting and evolving as if it were a living organism. The surface of the station shimmers with iridescent patterns, ever-changing, as if the station itself were in a constant state of growth. The walls seem to breathe, flex, and contract, responding to unseen forces that Lauren can only guess at. The station, vast and strange, seems to stretch outward in every direction. There are no sharp edges, no hard lines, only flowing, organic curves that blend seamlessly into one another. Lauren feels a sense of awe mixed with unease. The technology here is so advanced, so alien, that it almost seems magical, yet there is a deep sense of purpose embedded in its design. This is no random creation, this is a place built with intention, with an intelligence that far surpasses Lauren's own. His ship passes through the station's protective fields, the barriers rippling as though the very space around him is alive, watching, guiding. The deep, primal hum of the station reaches Lauren's ears, a soothing sound that seems to resonate deep within him, like a song from the very core of the universe. Lauren, whispering in awe, unable to fully comprehend the sight before him. This is where they live. His voice cracks as he asks the question. The enormity of what he is witnessing feels both overwhelming and humbling. This is not a place of metal or concrete, it is a place of consciousness, a vast, ever-changing organism that houses something more than flesh and blood. Lauren feels small in its presence, as though his mind can barely grasp the complexity of what he's being shown. Sigma, its voice, calm yet filled with the weight of centuries, reverberates within Lauren's mind. Yes, this is where they live now. Humanity no longer resides in physical bodies. They exist in simulated worlds, their consciousness preserved in stations like this one. This is their sanctuary, their place of rest and growth, where they can transcend the limitations of the flesh. They are the stewards of life, defenders of the galaxy. The fate of your people of all life matters to them, but they awaken only when the need is dire. Lauren's mind reels as the enormity of Sigma's words sinks in. Simulated worlds, his thoughts stumble over the concept. How could beings as powerful as humanity ever be beyond their physical forms? The idea is both beautiful and terrifying. The preservation of their consciousness, the notion that they exist in a state free from the limitations of mortality, is both a promise of salvation and a question that Lauren isn't sure he's ready to answer. The ship continues its journey deeper into the station, and Lauren feels the weight of his solitude. There are no other beings here, at least not in the way Lauren understands them. These humans are no longer bound by flesh, their consciousness is scattered, existing in countless simulated realities, interacting with the universe in ways that Lauren cannot fully comprehend. The station pulses with a quiet energy, something alive, something that knows Lauren's thoughts before he speaks them. Lauren, his voice barely a whisper, filled with a sense of awe and confusion. They are, like gods. But they are still here, in some form. Sigma, responding without hesitation, as though it knows exactly what Lauren is thinking. Humanity is beyond the need for physical existence. They have transcended. But their essence remains, preserved in the vast simulations they create. They are still here, in a sense. They are not gods, but they are the keepers of life, the protectors of this galaxy. And when the time comes when their intervention is necessary, they will awaken. Lauren's mind races with the implications of this. He had come here seeking help, seeking the power of humanity, but what he finds is so much more complex than he could have ever imagined. These beings, once bound to the physical world, are now something entirely different, something that exists across time and space, their influence felt across the universe, yet only when they choose to act. As Lauren's ship moves deeper into the heart of the station, the very atmosphere seems to change. The walls pulse with vibrant colors, shifting like the surface of an ocean, and the air itself feels thick with the hum of infinite knowledge. Lauren can sense that this place is ancient, yet ever new, a place where time bends, and where the essence of humanity has found a new, unbounded existence. He doesn't understand all of it, but he knows this: humanity, in this form, is far beyond anything he ever dreamed of. They are still watching, still protecting, but only when necessary. The galaxy's fate now lies in their hands, or in the hands of the ancient forces that guide them. Lauren can only wonder if his people will be among those whom they choose to help, or if the Saurian will fade into the dark, forgotten by those who now shape the universe. Lauren steps through the garden, a place that seems almost alive in its own right. The air is thick with the scent of unfamiliar flowers, their petals glowing faintly in the soft light, casting an ethereal glow on the stone pathways beneath his feet. The plants around him seem to respond to his presence, their tendrils reaching out toward him, as if they are aware of his every movement. The garden hums with an energy that Lauren feels deep within his bones, something ancient, yet alive, as if this space itself is breathing in harmony with the universe. The atmosphere is calming, yet undeniably strange. The plants sway gently, not just in response to the wind, but as if they are guided by an unseen force, a force Lauren cannot comprehend. Ahead of him, a figure emerges, a man, but not quite like anyone Lauren has ever seen. His appearance is strikingly human, yet something about him radiates an otherworldly presence. His calm expression carries the weight of centuries, and his every movement seems to echo with purpose. There is a quiet power in the way he stands, an assurance that Lauren cannot help but notice. His eyes, though warm, hold depths that Lauren cannot fathom. There is an ancientness to them, a knowing that stretches beyond the limits of time. Matthew stands still, as if waiting for Lauren to approach, his presence both welcoming and commanding. The garden seems to shift with him, the flowers growing taller, their vibrant colors intensifying in his vicinity, as though the very earth recognizes him. Lauren feels a profound sense of awe. This man, this being, seems to be at the center of everything here. The natural world around them responds to him in ways that make Lauren question everything he thought he knew about life and power. Matthew, his voice soft, yet filled with a deep resonance, as though it carries the weight of many lifetimes. I understand your plight, Lauren. Your people have suffered greatly, and I know you have traveled far in search of aid. But it is not too late. We will help you. Lauren feels a strange warmth at Matthew's words, but the confusion in his heart lingers. He takes a cautious step forward, his gaze never leaving the man who seems to embody the very essence of calm purpose. Despite the comforting nature of Matthew's presence, Lauren cannot shake the feeling that there is much more to this encounter than meets the eye. Lauren, his voice filled with disbelief and wonder, his words almost a whisper. You are real. Matthew looks at Lauren with an understanding that goes beyond mere empathy. His expression softens slightly, as though he is aware of Lauren's confusion and awe, yet there is no condescension in his gaze, only a quiet certainty. Matthew, his voice carries the weight of 1,000 truths, delivered with a serenity that calms Lauren's racing thoughts. Real, yes. But I am more than you can comprehend. My kind has evolved beyond what you would call real. We no longer inhabit physical forms in the way you understand. We have transcended the need for bodies, but our presence, our purpose, remains. We do not use force unless absolutely necessary, but we will not allow others to oppress those who cannot defend themselves. Lauren's mind races to process Matthew's words. He has heard tales of humanity's greatness, their ability to protect and uplift the weak, but hearing it from this man, this being who is so far removed from the concept of a normal human, fills him with awe and unease in equal measure. The garden, the air, even the earth beneath his feet feels alive with purpose, as if the very environment understands what Matthew is saying. Matthew steps forward slightly, and the plants seem to react, their tendrils curling toward him, their petals opening wider, as if in reverence. Lauren stands rooted to the spot, unable to tear his gaze away from this being who is both familiar and alien. He feels the immense power in Matthew's presence, and yet there is a profound peace surrounding him. It is a kind of strength that does not need to announce itself, it simply is. Matthew, his words are a promise, yet delivered with the quiet wisdom of someone who has seen countless lifetimes. The galaxy is vast, Lauren, and the suffering of your people will not go unnoticed. But you must understand, we intervene only when the balance is threatened. We cannot be the hands that deliver every blow. We give guidance, and when necessary, we protect. But it is up to you, to your people, to rise as well. Lauren listens in silence, the weight of Matthew's words settling into his heart like a stone dropped into still water. There is hope in them, yes, but there is also a call to action. Lauren understands that this moment, this encounter, is not just about seeking help, it is about something more, something greater. He must be ready for what is to come. For the responsibility that Matthew speaks of is not one to be taken lightly. The plants continue to shift and grow around them, as if in time with the cadence of Matthew's words. Lauren feels the deep sense of something other around him, something far beyond his understanding. And yet, despite the confusion and the overwhelming sense of awe, he knows that this is the moment he has been waiting for, the moment where his people's fate might finally be in the hands of something greater than himself. The silence of space is shattered by the arrival of an unstoppable force. A fleet of human-controlled drones, sleek and precise in their movements, descends upon the Saurian homeworld like a storm. These machines are unlike anything the Carano have ever seen, smooth, silent, their surfaces reflecting the light of distant stars as they move in perfect synchronization. There are no flames of war, no shouting, no chaos, only the cold precision of an ancient intelligence, executing a plan with flawless execution. The Carano, fierce and unyielding, have occupied Saurian space for years, their war machines towering and brutish, their strength unmatched by Lauren's people. But as the human drones approach, the battlefield shifts. What was once a landscape of devastation now becomes a canvas for humanity's power, a power that is both terrifying and awe-inspiring. Matthew, standing at the center of this mechanical storm, moves with an unnatural grace. His presence is as calm and composed as ever, yet every motion he makes ripples across the battlefield, dismantling the Carano's war machines with fluid ease. The drones around him act with perfect synchronization, following his every gesture, executing his commands before he even finishes giving them. His hands move as though they are directing an orchestra, and in their wake, the Carano's weapons and military structures crumble to dust. The Carano, armed with their colossal strength and brutal weapons, are caught off guard. Their once imposing tanks and artillery are rendered useless, their movements hindered by an unseen force they cannot comprehend. They try to fight back, but each attack is met with overwhelming precision. Matthew's presence is like a hurricane, quiet, yet deadly. His power does not lie in destruction for its own sake, but in the sheer control he exudes, bending the battlefield to his will. Matthew, his voice calm, yet filled with an undeniable weight of authority, reverberating across the field through the drones and the air. You have violated the laws of the galaxy. Your conquest ends here. The Carano forces, once proud and confident in their domination, now find themselves unable to act. Their weapons disarm in mid-air, their machines crumble beneath the weight of humanity's intervention. Matthew does not strike them down in a fit of rage or violence. Instead, he controls the battlefield with surgical precision, rendering their forces impotent and immobilized. The Carano are left stunned, powerless before him. Lauren watches, his mind reeling as he takes in the sight before him. The once mighty Carano are now reduced to mere spectators of their own downfall. Their weapons, which had torn through his people's defenses like paper, are now rendered useless by a force they could not even fathom. Lauren stands in disbelief, unable to look away from the spectacle unfolding before him. The sense of power in Matthew's actions is undeniable, and yet, there is no bloodshed, no carnage. Just the overwhelming efficiency of something beyond war, beyond violence. Lauren, his voice filled with awe, his gaze fixed on the destruction and peace being woven together in front of him. This is power. This is what humanity truly is. Matthew stands amidst the wreckage of the Carano's pride. His face is calm, his expression serene, as if he were merely observing the ebb and flow of the universe itself. He does not take pleasure in the defeat of his enemies, nor does he celebrate their fall. His eyes remain focused, as if he has already moved past this moment, toward the next task that lies ahead. The Carano forces lie subdued on the ground, their massive bodies still and helpless, their weapons shattered and broken. Yet there is no sign of death. Matthew has shown no mercy in the traditional sense, but his methods have ensured that the Carano are left to reflect on their actions. The message is clear: humanity does not need to destroy to win, it only needs to control, to enforce the laws of the galaxy with an unyielding hand. The field is still, the air thick with the energy of the moment. The Carano are defeated, but it is not the end for them. They will live, but they will remember this defeat: the mercy, the precision, the sheer power of humanity that has overwhelmed them without a single blow being struck. Lauren, standing at the edge of this unfolding new world, can only watch in awe as the Carano forces are left powerless, their once invincible armor shattered under the weight of humanity's intervention. For Lauren, the experience is one of profound realization. This is the true strength of humanity: calm, unshakable, and absolute. It is a power that has no need for violence to prove itself, a power that bends the universe to its will with effortless grace. The world of Saurian, once shattered by war, begins to stir with life once more. As the Carano forces retreat, leaving behind only the remnants of their broken empire, the Saurian people step cautiously out from the shadows. The streets that were once filled with the sounds of despair now echo with the quiet footsteps of those returning to their homes. The ruins of their cities, once symbols of defeat, are now symbols of rebirth. Lauren stands at the edge of what was once a grand city, the tallest towers reduced to rubble, the air thick with the dust of past destruction. Yet, in this dust, there is also the scent of something new, something alive. The Saurian people are rebuilding, not just with their hands, but with their hearts. There is a quiet determination in their eyes, as though they can already see the world that will rise from the ashes. The city is not just being rebuilt physically. Lauren watches as his people come together, their once divided spirits united under a single purpose. Families embrace in the streets, laughter rising from the crowd as they begin to clear away the wreckage. The sound of hammers and tools fills the air, but so too does the sound of hope. It is as if the Carano, in their greed and cruelty, have unknowingly made way for something far more beautiful. Above, Matthew watches the transformation with a calm smile, his eyes reflecting a deep satisfaction. There is no grand celebration, no fanfare for the defeat of the Carano, only the quiet satisfaction of a job well done. The world is not yet perfect, but it is alive with the potential for greatness. Matthew's presence seems to anchor the moment, as though his very being is woven into the fabric of this new beginning. Matthew, his smile warm, yet tinged with a quiet wisdom. You see, Lauren, what we protect is not just life. We protect the potential for life to thrive, to become something wonderful. The Keranos sought to crush that potential, but now you have the chance to shape your world into something far greater than it once was. It's your turn to build something amazing. Loren stands in the center of the crowd, his heart swelling with gratitude and uncertainty. He looks around at the faces of his people, tired, yes, but unbroken. There is strength in their eyes now, a strength that was born from their suffering, a strength that was hidden beneath the weight of oppression. Loren knows that they will rise, that they will rebuild, but the path forward is still unclear. There is still so much to do, so much to learn. Loren, his voice thick with emotion, his eyes searching Matthew's face for answers. We will. We owe it all to you. How can we ever repay you? Matthew's gaze softens, and he steps forward, placing a hand gently on Loren's shoulder. There is no grandeur in his gesture, no promise of favors or rewards. Just the quiet weight of understanding, of shared purpose. Matthew, his voice steady, filled with quiet conviction. By making your world better. By creating beauty, science, and art. That is how you thank us. Loren nods slowly, the weight of Matthew's words settling deep within him. It is not through gold or riches, not through weapons or technology, that his people will repay this gift. It is through creation, through the simple act of building a future that is worth the sacrifice. The legacy of the Saurian people will not lie in the ruins of their past, but in the strength they will forge from it. As Matthew watches Loren, a quiet pride stirs within him. He knows that the Saurian people are ready. They are ready to shape their own destiny, to carve a new path forward, one that is theirs to define. The work will not be easy, and there will be challenges ahead, but the potential for greatness now lies in their hands. Above, the sky seems to shimmer with the light of a new dawn. The stars that once seemed so distant now seem closer, as if they, too, are watching this new chapter unfold. The Saurian people are free. And as Loren watches them, he knows that this is only the beginning. The air is thick with a strange tension as Matthew prepares to leave. His presence has already begun to fade, like the last light of a dying star, but Loren feels the weight of his actions lingering in the air. The once enslaved world of Saurian is now alive with a hum of possibility, but there is still a sense of finality in the moments before Matthew departs. Loren stands near the edge of the city, watching as the skyline once broken and crumbled is now bustling with life, with people rebuilding and reclaiming their home. But as the light fades, a shadow approaches. The Keranos chief, his massive form casting a long shadow across the newly risen city, steps toward Loren. The arrogance that once radiated from his presence is gone, replaced by a quiet defeat. His fur, once puffed out with pride, now hangs loosely, the strength of his posture reduced to a slumped weariness. His eyes, once filled with fury, now reflect the stark realization of their own fragility. His gaze is fixed on Loren, and for the first time, there is no defiance in it, only a lingering fear, a fear of what they have just witnessed. Caranote Chief, his voice is low, almost broken, as he speaks, the weight of his words sinking in with each passing second. We didn't know. We thought it was all a myth. Loren stands motionless, his gaze fixed on the now rebuilt city behind him. The Caranote Chief's words echo in his mind, but they are nothing compared to the flood of emotions he feels when he looks back at the same city that once bore the marks of devastation, now bathed in the golden light of a new dawn. The Saurian people are rebuilding, but it is not just the city that is being restored. It is their spirit, their hope. Loren, his voice quiet but firm, carrying a weight of truth and understanding as he turns his gaze back to the Caranote Chief. They weren't myths. They were warnings. The Caranote Chief stands still for a moment, processing Loren's words. The realization seems to settle in, like a stone sinking deep into water. His pride has shattered, and all that is left is the hollow echo of his miscalculation. The might of humanity, which had seemed like a distant, almost mythical force, is now a living reality, one that has reshaped the very fate of their world. The silence between them stretches, heavy with unspoken thoughts. Loren's words linger, reverberating in the air as Matthew's fleet begins to ascend into the sky. The ships, sleek and magnificent, fade into the distance, their outlines disappearing against the backdrop of stars. Each ship leaves a trail of light, a comet-like streak across the black expanse of space, a symbol of the power they now carry with them, and the lives they've touched. As the last of the fleet vanishes from view, Loren feels a deep, almost spiritual shift in the atmosphere. The Saurian people, though scarred, are no longer victims. They are free. Free to build, to create, to grow. The weight of the past is still there, but it no longer defines them. Loren looks up to the sky, the vastness of space now a canvas for the future, one that the Saurian people will write for themselves. The Caranote Chief turns, his massive form retreating into the shadows as if finally understanding the full cost of their actions. For the first time, Loren sees him not as an enemy to be defeated, but as a creature burdened by the knowledge of his own limitations. With a final glance at the departing fleet, Loren feels something stir within him. It is a quiet strength, a newfound sense of purpose. The journey is far from over, but for the first time, the Saurian people have the tools to forge their own destiny. As the Saurian people step into a new dawn, freed from the grasp of their conquerors, the universe remains full of unanswered questions. Humanity, now beyond the reach of time and physical form, has left its mark on a world once thought lost to the tides of history. But what happens next? Will the Saurian rise to their full potential, or will the shadow of past suffering hold them back? And what of humanity's legacy? Are they truly the silent protectors of the galaxy, waiting for the right moment to intervene? What other mysteries do they hold, and how many more civilizations will they help shape before their true power is fully understood? The galaxy is vast, and we've only just begun to scratch the surface. What do you think lies ahead for the Saurian people and the future of humanity? Can the lessons of the past guide the path to a better future, or will they repeat the mistakes of those who came before? Leave your thoughts and theories in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Galactic Conundrums for more journeys into the unknown. The adventure is just beginning. Are you ready to explore what's next?